Boyhood, directed by Richard Linklater, whose previous film was Before Midnight. Four main characters of this film is played by Ella Coltrane, Patricia Arquette, Lorelei Linklater, and Ethan Hawke. For the rest of the cast, look down below. So if you didn't know, this film does something really crazy. It was actually shot over an 11-year period from May 2002 to October 2013. And it shows the growth of, and it shows both the actual growth of Ella Coltrane and Patricia Arquette, the two main kids of this story. So what's it about? Basically, it captures the essence of this kid who's 6 years old and then all the way to when he's like graduated high school. So that's like this entire span, and it deals with his family issues, his relationship with his sister, his mother who's a divorcee, and then new boyfriends coming in and out. And it's just like, how does he cope? How does he like deal with life in general? And the usual things that a teenager nowadays goes through. And that's pretty much the entire film. So what did I think? If you notice some of the posters that have been up in your area if this movie was shown, it says a movie 12-year epic that isn't quite like anything else in the history of cinema. And I have to say, it totally is like a one of a kind. The very fact that they chose to have two kids be the same kids and not recast them for their different age segments it's pretty crazy. Like when you normally see like movies that start when they're kids, teenagers to adults, they're always done by 3 different actors. But here it's solely, you actually see their growth, mind-boggling. Wow, that commitment, and it's just like interesting to see how, despite the fact that it's one person playing all these age groups, he still looked different enough that, I don't know, it's kind of weird that it addresses the whole choosing 3 people to play one person isn't that far-fetched, because, you know, kids grow and change a lot throughout their growing years. And I think it add another layer of depth as to like this authenticity, as in like these kids are growing up. This realistic view of growing up, and going back to the namesake of the movie, Boyhood, and you see this kid just growing up, and you see how he deals with things, how as he's going into high school, he has to deal with friends and issues and trying to figure out his life. And I just really enjoyed the whole soul searching or just figuring out life, and then all of a sudden you have other stuff that happens in the background, like family issues or relative issues and all that stuff, and it's just great. I really did enjoy this movie. It's pretty long. It's a 2-hour and 50-minute movie, but I would say it's definitely worth your while just to check it out, at least just to see how something that we usually cast 3 people to do one character, and this time around it's one person doing the entire movie. It's interesting for sure, and it's definitely one of those cinematic moments of like, you know, history basically, because there's none other like it. So as I was saying, the authenticity is there as well in terms of everything, like how they deal with the divorcee parents, how the father comes back and instead of trying to be a douchebag, he's just like, you know, trying to hack it out, and the kids aren't hating him because he left them or whatever. It's just like a realistic view of how some parents, when they divorce, this is what happens. It's still happy, it's okay, the parents are okay, each parent moves on with their lives, and the kids have to like cope and all that stuff. Like, definitely this movie isn't for everybody. There's not much that I dislike here for sure, because it's just a depiction of life as a kid grows up and what did they go through, rebellion and all that stuff. And if you're not into that stuff, like the whole human conditioning thing, like you want some drama up here and there, I think it's slightly like toned down in terms of the realistic authenticity, and I think it might be boring for some viewers, but I definitely say it's great. It's on par with the things that I've loved or really enjoyed this past year that I've watched, is that it's just real. This character study being just put through these things as to like, all the issues exist in this movie exists also in the real world, and people go through these things, and it feels authentic in the sense where, yeah, a kid can go through that. It doesn't feel like, oh, you're just putting all these stereotypes into one kid's life and making him feel all the things that normal kids feel from different families, but rather it feels like, yeah, a kid can go through all this. Yeah, I totally buy it. So definitely check it out if you can. Boyhood, it is cinema history. Check it out just for that. It sure might be a gimmick thing, but I mean, it's the first of its kind. Definitely give that. So yeah, definitely check it out. That's all I can say for this movie. And if you have seen Boyhood, leave your comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that is all for this Boyhood. Out.